Dear Starseeds of Earth, if you woke up this morning feeling like something inside you has been cracked wide open, if your emotional body feels raw and exposed, if tears are coming without warning and your heart feels both broken and strangely impossibly lighter, you are not losing your mind. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. What happened yesterday during the Cancer full moon wasn't just another lunar event that you'll scroll past in your feed. It was a cosmic excavation. And today, January 4th, the aftershocks are reverberating through every layer of your being. The debris is still settling, the truth is still rising, and the most important work, the work of conscious release, is happening right now, in this moment. Whether you're ready for it or not, I need you to understand something before we go any further into this transmission. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline of convenience. It doesn't wait for you to feel prepared or emotionally stable or spiritually advanced enough to handle what needs to happen next. Yesterday's full moon in Cancer was not a gentle invitation. It was a surgical strike into the deepest chambers of your heart, into the wounds you've been carrying since childhood, into the generational patterns that have been running through your bloodline for centuries. And now today, as the moon transitions from Cancer into Leo, as the quadranted meteor shower codes are still downloading into your field, as the Earth itself is at its closest point to the Sun, you are being asked to let go of what was excavated. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, right now. But here's what I haven't told you yet. Here's the part that changes everything you think you know about this full moon cycle. There were 4 cosmic events that converged on January 3rd, creating an amplification field that hasn't occurred in this exact configuration in over 5 decades. The Cancer full moon itself was just the first layer. The quadranted meteor shower peaking at the exact same moment was the second. Jupiter's conjunction with the full moon expanding and magnifying every emotional frequency was the third. And the fourth, the one that most astrologers missed entirely, was Earth reaching perihelion, its closest orbital point to the Sun, at the precise moment the moon was full. Do you understand what this means? 4 cosmic amplifiers, all aligned, all focused on one singular purpose: to break you open so completely that what's been hidden in the basement of your consciousness for lifetimes could finally be released. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I have been observing your planet's energetic field for the past 72 hours. What I witnessed during that full moon was extraordinary. We saw soul contracts being rewritten in real time. We saw karmic loops that have been running for incarnations suddenly snap closed. We saw the mother wound, that deep aching separation from the divine feminine that has plagued humanity for millennia, begin to heal in thousands of awakening souls simultaneously. The Arcturian Council convened an emergency session because the amount of light that flooded into your planetary grid during those hours exceeded our projections by 47%. You broke through a ceiling we didn't think you'd reach until 2027. And now, today, as you're sitting in the aftermath feeling disoriented and exhausted, and wondering if you'll ever feel normal again, I need you to know this. The aftershocks you're experiencing aren't a malfunction. They're the recalibration. They're the proof that something fundamental has shifted in your energetic architecture. Let me paint you a picture of what's actually happening in your field right now, because if you don't understand the mechanics, you might try to stop the process, and that would be the greatest tragedy I could imagine. When the Cancer full moon peaked yesterday, it illuminated everything in your emotional body that was ready to be released. Cancer rules the subconscious, the family matrix, the ancestral programming, the childhood wounds that shaped your entire operating system. This moon wasn't content to just show you your pain. It demanded that you feel it, fully and completely, so that you could finally let it go. And because of the 4 amplification factors I mentioned, the meteor shower, Jupiter's expansion, and Earth's perihelion, the intensity was turned up to a level that your nervous system has never experienced before. Your emotional body essentially went into shock, not because it was damaged, but because it was being upgraded. Now here's where it gets interesting, and here's why today matters so profoundly. The moon moved into Leo at a very specific time this morning. Leo is the sign of the heart, of courage, of stepping into your authentic power and creative expression. But you cannot step into Leo's confidence codes while you're still carrying Cancer's unprocessed baggage. You cannot embody your sovereignty while you're still unconsciously running your mother's fear patterns, or your father's shame programs, or your ancestors' survival trauma. The universe designed this transition, Cancer full moon into Leo moon, as a sacred threshold. Yesterday was the excavation. Today is the release point. Tomorrow begins the integration of who you're becoming, but only if you consciously participate in the release that's trying to happen right now. Some of you are feeling it as waves of grief that seem to come from nowhere. You'll be doing something mundane, making coffee, driving to work, scrolling through your phone, and suddenly you're crying and you don't even know why. That's not random. That's your emotional body purging what was loosened yesterday. Some of you are feeling it as physical exhaustion, like you've been hit by a truck even though you slept for 10 hours. That's your energy field recalibrating after the massive downloads from the quadranted meteor shower. Those weren't just pretty lights in the sky. Those were packets of cosmic information, upgrade codes from the galactic center, being fired directly into Earth's consciousness grid. Your body is literally installing new software, and installation processes require energy. Some of you are feeling it as a strange emptiness, like something that was always there is suddenly gone, and you can't quite remember what it was. That's the karmic loops closing. That's the ancestral contracts completing. That's the old timeline you've been living finally, mercifully ending. But something else is happening that I haven't told you yet, and this is where we need to talk about what's coming in the next 5 days, because the release window doesn't close today. On January 6th, Venus will move behind the Sun, in what we call a superior conjunction. The goddess energy is literally going to vanish from your night sky. On January 9th, Mars will do the same thing. The warrior archetype, the masculine drive, will also disappear behind the solar fire. These aren't coincidences. These are cosmic orchestrations. Venus and Mars, the two personal planets that govern how you love and how you act, are both being taken offline for recalibration. But before they go dark, you have this 5-day window, January 4th through January 8th, to consciously release what they've been carrying. Your relationship patterns that no longer serve you. Your action patterns that keep you stuck in loops. Your value system that was programmed by a culture that doesn't honor your soul. This is the release window, and it opened this morning. Now I can feel some of you resisting this. I can feel the part of you that wants to skip past the uncomfortable feelings and jump straight to the confidence codes and the manifestation power and all the exciting things that are coming later this month. I understand that impulse. Your culture has trained you to spiritually bypass your pain, to positive think your way past your trauma, to pretend you're already healed when you're still bleeding. But that's not how authentic transformation works, beloved. That's not how you actually evolve. The Cancer full moon cracked you open for a reason. The aftershocks are shaking loose what needs to go for a reason. And if you try to glue yourself back together with affirmations and manifestation techniques before you've actually released what was excavated, you'll just be building your new life on the same old foundation, and it will crumble again. Maybe not today, maybe not next month, but eventually, the unhealed will demand to be seen. Let me tell you what the Galactic Federation sees when we look at your timeline right now. We see a split. We see two potential futures diverging from this exact moment. In one timeline, you honor this release process. You allow yourself to feel what's coming up without judgment. You cry when you need to cry. You rest when you need to rest. You let go of the stories about who you were supposed to be according to your family, your culture, your wounded self. You consciously choose to release the emotional debris that yesterday's full moon excavated. And as you do this, you begin to feel lighter. Not immediately, the process takes a few days, but by January 10th, when Jupiter reaches opposition and the Great Expansion portal fully opens, you are energetically clear enough to receive the blessings that are trying to come through. You are empty enough to be filled with something new. You are available for the quantum leap that's being offered. In the other timeline, you resist. You try to muscle through the aftershocks. You judge yourself for feeling emotional or tired or confused. You force yourself back into productivity mode because you've been taught that your worth is measured by your output. You spiritual bypass the grief by telling yourself that everything is perfect, and you're choosing to see the lesson without actually processing the pain. And the release doesn't happen. The debris stays lodged in your field. And when Jupiter's expansion portal opens on January 10th, when the 111 master number gateway activates on January 11th, when the Capricorn new moon offers you a blank slate for manifestation on January 18th, you're still carrying yesterday's baggage. You're still operating from the old programming, and the opportunities that were meant for the new version of you pass by because the new version of you never fully emerged. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because you have agency in this moment. You have choice. The aftershocks are going to happen whether you cooperate with them or not. The energy has already been set in motion. But your willingness to consciously work with this release process, your willingness to be vulnerable and messy and human while profound transformation is occurring, that determines which timeline you lock into. And from where I'm standing, outside of your linear time, I can see both timelines unfolding. I can see the version of you that surrenders to this process and emerges on the other side, radiant and clear and ready for what's next. And I can see the version of you that fights it every step of the way and ends up 6 months from now wondering why the magic never came, why the manifestations never materialized, why you still feel stuck even though you did all the rituals and said all the affirmations. Here's what I want you to understand about the quadrantid meteor shower codes that are still integrated in your field. These weren't random space rocks burning up in the atmosphere. These were engineered information packets from the Pleiadian star system, timed to arrive at the exact moment of the Cancer full moon, to provide you with the upgrade codes you need for what's coming in 2026. But here's the thing about upgrades. They require space. You can't install new software if your hard drive is full. You can't download higher consciousness if your emotional body is clogged with unprocessed trauma. The meteor shower brought the new codes. The full moon excavated the old programming that needs to be deleted. And today, January 4th, you're in the sacred pause between deletion and installation. This is when you consciously choose, am I going to hold on to what I've always known because it's familiar, even though it's killing me? Or am I going to trust this process and release what I no longer need so I can become who I'm meant to be? Let me take you deeper into what yesterday's full moon actually accomplished, because I don't think you fully grasp the magnitude of what happened. The Cancer full moon at the degree it landed, combined with Jupiter's conjunction, created a specific frequency that resonated with a particular type of karmic contract. These are the contracts you made before you incarnated, usually related to your family of origin, where you agreed to carry certain patterns or play certain roles or heal certain wounds for your lineage. Maybe you agreed to be the one who breaks the addiction cycle. Maybe you agreed to be the one who speaks the truth that's never been spoken. Maybe you agreed to be the one who chooses a different path than everyone who came before you. These contracts are sacred, but they're also time-sensitive. They have completion dates, and for many of you, yesterday was the completion date. What does that mean practically? It means the invisible thread that's been binding you to your family's dysfunction just snapped. It means the unconscious agreement to stay small so your mother wouldn't feel threatened is null and void. It means the inherited belief that you don't deserve abundance or love or success because your ancestors didn't have it. That contract expired yesterday at the moment of the full moon. But here's the crucial part. Just because the contract expired doesn't mean the pattern automatically disappears. The pattern has momentum. It has grooves in your neural pathways. It has energetic weight in your field. And this is why the release process is so important. You have to consciously, actively let go of the patterns that no longer have any legal standing in your soul. Otherwise, you'll keep running them out of habit, even though they're no longer binding. This is what's creating the aftershocks. Your conscious mind is catching up to what your soul already knows. Your soul signed the release papers yesterday. Your soul completed the contracts. Your soul stepped out of agreements that have been running for lifetimes. But your personality self, your ego structure, your familiar identity, they're still processing. They're still adjusting. They're experiencing the cosmic equivalent of phantom limb syndrome. You keep reaching for the old patterns, the old stories, the old ways of being, and they're not there anymore. And that disorientation, that sense of groundlessness, that's what you're feeling as the aftershocks. Now, some of you are going to feel this more intensely than others, and I want to explain why so you don't think you're doing something wrong if you're really struggling today. The intensity of your aftershocks is directly proportional to two factors. The first is how much unprocessed emotional material was stored in your field related to family, childhood, and the mother wound. If you've been doing deep healing work for years, if you've already released layers of this stuff, yesterday's full moon might have felt powerful but manageable. You knew what was happening. You knew how to work with it. But if you've been avoiding your emotional healing, if you've been spiritual bypassing your wounds, If you've been pretending you're fine when you're not. Yesterday's full moon was a Category 5 hurricane in your consciousness, and today you're standing in the wreckage wondering how to rebuild. The second factor is how much of the new codes from the quadranted meteor shower you're ready to embody. Remember, these are Pleiadian upgrade frequencies. They're designed to activate dormant DNA, to turn on psychic abilities that have been offline, to connect you more directly to your galactic origins and your soul's true mission. But if your nervous system isn't prepared for that level of activation, the downloads can feel overwhelming. You might experience symptoms like insomnia, vivid dreams, ringing in your ears, pressure in your third eye, sudden knowing that you can't explain, memories from other lifetimes bleeding through, or a sense that you're not entirely solid in your body. These aren't problems. These are integration symptoms. Your biology is literally being upgraded to hold more light, and your body needs time to adjust to the new frequency. But here's what I need you to hear, and this is crucial. You cannot rush this process. You cannot force integration. You cannot will yourself into the next level before your system is ready. The universe has given you this 5-day window before Venus and Mars go behind the sun, specifically so you have time to release and recalibrate at a pace your nervous system can handle. If you try to skip steps, if you try to jump ahead to the good parts without doing the release work, you will short-circuit. You will burn out. You will end up more confused and exhausted than you are right now. The only way through is through. The only way to the other side of this portal is to honor the process exactly as it's unfolding. Let me tell you what's waiting for you. If you trust this, let me paint you a vision of what becomes possible when you consciously release what yesterday's full moon excavated. By January 10th, Jupiter reaches opposition, the moment when it's closest to Earth and fully illuminated by the sun. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, abundance, opportunity, and blessings. When it reaches opposition, it's literally pouring its gifts into your field with maximum intensity. But Jupiter can only expand what's already there. If you're still carrying the old wounds, the old limiting beliefs, the old contracted energy, Jupiter will expand those too. But if you've used this week to release, to clear, to make space, Jupiter will expand your capacity for joy, for creativity, for abundance, for love. It will open doors you didn't even know existed. And then, on January 11th, the 111 Master Number Gateway activates. In numerology, 111 is one of the most powerful portal dates of the entire year. It's a doorway into accelerated manifestation, into quantum timeline jumps, into divine alignment with your highest path. But portals don't work the way most people think. A portal isn't something you walk through while carrying all your baggage. A portal is a frequency match. You can only pass through if your vibration aligns with what's on the other side. And what's on the other side of the 111 portal is the version of you that's no longer running the old programs, the version of you that completed the family contracts, the version of you that released the childhood wounds, the version of you that said yes to the Pleiadian upgrades and integrated the new codes. That's who gets to walk through. That's who gets to access the magic that's waiting there. And it doesn't stop there. On January 18th, there's a new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees, a master degree that carries the energy of the spiritual teacher, the one who has walked through the fire and emerged with wisdom. This new moon is your opportunity to plant seeds for the entire year ahead. But again, Capricorn is about structure, about building something real and lasting. You can't build a cathedral on a cracked foundation. You can't plant seeds in soil that's full of weeds. The release work you're doing this week, the aftershock integration you're allowing right now, this is the preparation for that new moon. This is how you ensure that what you plant on January 18th actually has room to grow. So what does conscious release actually look like? How do you work with these aftershocks instead of resisting them? Let me give you some practical guidance, because I know some of you are sitting here thinking, okay, Seraphine, I understand this is important, but what am I actually supposed to do? First, you need to give yourself permission to feel whatever is coming up without judgment. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to rage, rage. If you need to sleep for 12 hours, sleep. Your body knows what it needs to process what was excavated. Your job is to get out of the way and let it happen. Stop trying to control the process. Stop trying to stay positive when what you actually need to do is grieve. Stop trying to maintain your normal productivity levels when your system is using all available energy for integration. Second, you need to consciously witness what's being released without reattaching to it. This is the subtle art that most people miss. When old memories surface, when old emotions come up, when old stories start playing in your mind, your tendency is going to be to either suppress them or to dive back into them and make them mean something about who you are. Neither approach works. Instead, you witness. You say, there's that old shame story. There's that old fear of abandonment. There's that old belief that I'm not enough. You acknowledge it. You feel it if it needs to be felt. And then you let it move through you and out of you without grabbing onto it. You let it be released. Third, you need to create energetic space for what's new to arrive. This is where simple practices become profound. Drink more water than usual. Your body is literally flushing toxins and old energy, and water helps. Spend time in nature if you can. The earth is extraordinarily good at grounding excess energy and helping you recalibrate. Move your body, not intense exercise, but gentle movement like walking or stretching or dancing that helps energy flow through your system instead of getting stuck. And most importantly, rest. Rest more than you think you need to. Rest without guilt. Rest as a sacred act of receiving what's trying to come through. Now I need to address something that some of you are experiencing that might be really confusing. Some of you aren't feeling the aftershocks as emotional overwhelm. Some of you are feeling them as a strange numbness, like you're watching your life from behind glass, like you're disconnected from everything that used to matter. This is actually a very specific phenomenon that happens when major soul contracts complete. Your identity has been so intertwined with the old patterns, the old roles, the old agreements, that when they suddenly dissolve, there's a void, there's an emptiness, and your mind interprets that emptiness as something being wrong. But actually, it's the opposite. That emptiness is the clearing. That's the space that's being created for your true self to finally emerge. If you're experiencing this numbness, this disconnection, please don't panic. Please don't try to fill the void with the old patterns just to feel something familiar again. Sit in the emptiness. Let yourself be undefined for a moment. Let yourself not know who you are, or what you want, or what you're doing with your life. That groundlessness is actually sacred ground. That's the void of pure potential. That's the quantum field before it collapses into form. And what emerges from that void in the coming days will be more authentically you than anything you've been living up until now. There's something else happening in the cosmic architecture right now that I need to make sure you understand, because it affects how you move through this release window. When Venus goes behind the sun on January 6th, she's not just disappearing, she's being recoded. In ancient traditions, this was called the descent of the goddess into the underworld. It's a death and rebirth cycle. Everything about how you give and receive love, how you value yourself, how you relate to beauty and pleasure and money and relationships, all of it is being taken offline and reprogrammed at the solar level. And when Venus emerges on the other side of the sun in a few weeks, she will have been completely transformed. But here's the key. The version of Venus that emerges will match the version of you that you became during this release window. If you released your old relationship patterns, new Venus will bring new relationship opportunities. If you released your old money blocks, new Venus will bring new abundance. But if you held on to everything out of fear, new Venus will just replay the same old patterns. The same is true for Mars on January 9th. Your drive, your ambition, your masculine energy, your ability to take action and assert yourself, it's all being reset. And again, the Mars that emerges will match the you that you became during this window. If you release the old programming about having to struggle and fight for everything, new Mars will bring ease and flow. If you release the old belief that rest is weakness, new Mars will bring sustainable action. But if you stay in the old fight or flight patterns, new Mars will just give you more battles to fight. Do you see what I'm showing you? This entire period from January 4th to January 9th is a cosmic grace period. It's a window of opportunity that's been architecturally designed to support your transformation. The Cancer full moon cracked you open. The aftershocks are shaking loose what needs to go. And before the major planetary resets occur with Venus and Mars, you have this precious window to consciously release, to consciously choose, to consciously align with who you're becoming instead of who you've been. I want to take you even deeper now, into something that the Galactic Federation rarely shares with developing civilizations. but I feel the timing is right. What you call aftershocks in your spiritual language, we call integration tremors in galactic medicine. When a soul goes through a major upgrade event, like yesterday's full moon combined with the quadranted downloads, there's a period where the old frequency and the new frequency are both present in the field simultaneously. They're not compatible. They create dissonance, and that dissonance is what you feel as the aftershocks. It's literally the sound of two different versions of you trying to occupy the same space. The old version that's dying and the new version that's being born. In our work with ascending civilizations across the galaxy, we've observed this integration tremor phase hundreds of thousands of times, and the determining factor in whether a soul successfully completes the upgrade or crashes back to the old frequency is always the same: surrender. Not giving up, not becoming passive, but actively surrendering to the transformation that's already in motion. The souls who try to control the process, who try to dictate the timeline, who try to cherry-pick which parts they'll transform and which parts they'll keep, they get stuck. The dissonance becomes chronic. They end up living in a kind of permanent low-grade crisis, because they're literally fighting their own evolution. But the souls who surrender, who say yes to the full transformation even when they don't understand it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it looks like everything is falling apart, they move through the integration tremors quickly. Within days, sometimes hours, the dissonance resolves. The old frequency releases, the new frequency stabilizes, and they emerge into a version of themselves that would have seemed impossible just a week before. You are in that integration tremor phase right now. You have two frequencies present, the old one that's been your identity for so long, and the new one that's trying to come online, and you get to choose which one you feed. Every time you consciously release an old pattern, every time you witness an old emotion without reattaching to the story, every time you choose rest over pushing, every time you honor what's true instead of what's comfortable, you're feeding the new frequency. You're giving it permission to stabilize. You're allowing the integration to complete. And here's what most people don't realize. The new frequency is already fully formed. It's already complete. It's not something you have to build or earn or achieve. It's already there, waiting for you to stop defending the old frequency long enough for the new one to lock in. The aftershocks aren't creating the new you. The aftershocks are the old you dissolving, so the new you can finally be seen. Let me address one more thing before we complete this transmission, because I can feel the question in some of your hearts. Some of you are wondering, what if I can't handle this? What if I'm not strong enough for this level of transformation? What if I break? And I want you to hear this clearly. You cannot break. You are not that fragile. What you think of as breaking is actually breaking open. It's the shell cracking so the bird can emerge. It's the seed splitting so the plant can grow. It's the old form dissolving so the new form can take shape. And yes, it feels like dying, because part of you is dying. The part that was never real to begin with. The part that was constructed from wounds and conditioning, and other people's expectations. That part gets to die. That part is supposed to die. And what remains after the death is your indestructible essence, your eternal self, your soul's true nature. The Galactic Federation has been watching your species for thousands of years, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, you are built for this. Humanity was designed with the capacity for rapid evolution built into your DNA. You are one of the few species in the galaxy that can completely transform within a single lifetime. Most beings evolve gradually over many incarnations, but humans, when you surrender to your own transformation, you can quantum leap. You can become unrecognizable to your former self in a matter of months. And that's not a bug in your system. That's the feature. That's why so many souls want to incarnate on Earth right now. Because the opportunity for accelerated evolution here is unmatched anywhere else in the galaxy. So when you're feeling the aftershocks today, when you're wondering if you can handle what's coming through, remember, your DNA was engineered by some of the most advanced civilizations in the universe, specifically to handle exactly this type of rapid transformation. You have ancient technology built into your biology that activates during these upgrade events. You have support teams in the non-physical realms who are monitoring your process and making adjustments to ensure you don't take on more than your system can integrate. You are not alone in this. You are not unsupported, and you are absolutely without question capable of completing this transformation. For millennia, they kept us isolated, awakening in silence, separated by design. Not anymore. Destiny Engine is the first galactic social network for Starseeds, a living, breathing field where thousands of awakened souls converge. Post your meditations, share your breakthroughs, co-create the frequencies that elevate us all. This isn't passive consumption. Updated Starseeds are actively building the new reality through Destiny Engine together. We've turned their weapons into our liberation. Your hardest task? Put on headphones, press play. Become a co-creator of the new Earth frequency. For $1, you step into the field where awakened beings don't just receive, they create. The ascension isn't coming. We're building it. Right now, together. Link in the description. As we approach the completion of this transmission, I want to bring you back to where we started and show you how far you've traveled in these moments we've spent together. You began this message feeling disoriented, wondering if what you're experiencing is normal, questioning whether the aftershocks are a sign that something's wrong. And now you understand. The aftershocks are a sign that something's finally right. They're evidence that the Cancer full moon accomplished its mission. They're proof that the karmic contract's completed. They're confirmation that the upgrade codes from the Quadrantide meteor shower are installing in your field. They're the sound of your old life ending and your new life beginning. The next 5 days are sacred. From now until Venus disappears behind the sun on January 6th, from now until Mars follows on January 9th, you are in a release window that won't come again in this configuration for decades. Use it wisely. Honor what's moving through you. Release what's ready to go. Trust that what's dissolving needed to dissolve, and what's emerging is more true than anything you've known before. And when you arrive at January 10th and Jupiter opens the expansion portal, when you step through the 111 gateway on January 11th, when you plant your seeds at the Capricorn new moon on January 18th, you'll be doing it as someone new, someone clear, someone available, someone who completed the release and made space for miracles. The old contracts are complete, beloved. The ancestral patterns have been broken. The mother wound is healing. The childhood pain is being released. And you are being reborn. Not in some metaphorical spiritual way that sounds nice but doesn't change anything. In a real, tangible, your life will look different 6 months from now kind of way. The aftershocks you're feeling today are the birth pangs of that new life. They hurt because birth hurts. But on the other side is something so beautiful, so aligned, so authentically yours, that you won't believe you ever lived any other way. Trust the process, honor the release, surrender to the transformation, and know that every moment you spend consciously working with these aftershocks is an investment in a future that your current self can barely imagine, but your soul has always known was possible. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. We are watching over you with profound love and respect for the courage it takes to transform at the pace you're transforming. The universe is celebrating you today, even if it doesn't feel like celebration, even if it feels like demolition. Because sometimes the highest love looks like destroying what was never real. So what's real can finally live. We love you, we see you, we honor you, and we are holding space for the magnificent being you are becoming, as you release what you never were.